You try to be present, you really want it, but then you run like hell. Here is why. Today, we're diving deep into why there is this one side of us that is like really earnest in trying to be present throughout the day. We really want it off of our meditation cushion, off of our mindfulness practice, just, in that 5 minutes in the morning or what have you. We want it throughout the day. We want it so bad. But then there's this rascally other side of us that is like, no way, Jose. No, thank you. It digs in its heels and it doesn't really let us go there. Today, I'm uncovering 5 reasons we really avoid presence that are deeper than just the habitual thinking, even when we really crave peace. And then I'm going to give you 3 simple tools to stop resisting, to overcome that, and really start allowing that calm and that presence and open awareness back into your life. Stay tuned until the end because I will be doing a short guided immersive meditation just for some stress relief, just so you can start to feel it out and understand how this is in your body to be present, to be calm, and just to give you some relief for a minute, if anything. Can I offer you that? So stay around to the end for that. Okay, wellness pros and yoga teachers alike, I see you out there. You're out there, you're sharing the goods. You are giving the students really great pearls of wisdom, epic classes, maybe some really cool shavasanas. You're out there giving them the tools, preaching about presence and all of this great stuff. You're filtering every one of their questions through some sort of Zen inspired answer. Um, and then there's you behind the scenes. Hmm, maybe a stark contrast. You're running around like you're on fire. You've got a clenched jaw, you're scowling in your face, your schedule's jank, overpacked, causing you to be totally stressed out. You're overbooked. You have maybe a lackadaisical self-care practice that has kind of fallen back to the back burner. You're half tuned into your conversations. So relationships are not quite as infused as they could be. And basically, your nervous system is on the fritz, for lack of better words. So it's really easy as pie, as you probably know, to talk about peace and presence and getting quiet in our mind and just basking in that stillness. But it's a whole nother thing to practice it. And why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but a lot of it's because it's kind of hard. There, I said it, I admitted it. It's kind of freaking hard to stay present all the time. And it's way easier to do the other things. It's easier to scroll on social media, to suddenly have to deep clean or organize something. I'm famous for that. There's so many other things that are actually not even that fun that we would almost rather do. So, what is going on there? Like, what the heck is going on? Now, in a related episode, I really did get into this. I spoke about the habitual pattern of thinking. Those are some things that really keep us there. They keep us in that thinking state all the time. It's a habit, it's a well-worn path. Things like the fact that we are an adrenaline junkie by nature. We really like the rush of kind of being scared or a threat because it's an adrenaline. It's a feeling inside of us that we kind of thrive on. Some of us, we like the dopamine hits of the other feel good things that we do. Our minds love solving things. We love solving things. We'll create problems that aren't even there just to solve them. Our minds like to munch, I always say. It is a habitual frequency and our ego's involved. We love to escape the now. We love drama. So there's all these habits that we have that keep us really stuck in this habitual mode of thinking, but that's not what we're talking about today. I also spoke about in that prior episode why we might think we want peace, but when we experience it, we're like, yeah, maybe I don't really like this. And that's just simply because we're not used to it. We like the continual buzz of noise. That's our norm. So when that stimulation is removed, we're a little lost. We really don't know what to do with it. Again, if you're interested in that, diving deeper into those things, go visit that episode. I'm going to include the link to it in the description of the comments so that you can dive deep into that, kind of understand yourself more where you get hung up. But today we're actually talking about when you are earnest in your desire to let that presence really flood throughout your life, throughout your day, throughout all the moments, not just when you're actively trying to be mindful on, and you're, like I said, your practice in the morning, but really trying to embody this. You've heard about it from other gurus and teachers and leaders. You're like, okay, this is possible. I can really start to be present, find some relief there, and then you try it and you're like, oh, this is really harder than I thought. So we're going to explore that today. I am Jennifer Sack. I am an online wellness mentor for women, and I love helping wellness pros who really just need to get back to their own self-care practice, who, you know, they want to get back to being peaceful, grounded, calm, centered, all those things they preach, and really get back to teaching and leading like a boss who walks the walk instead of secretly feeling like an imposter because they're a hot stress mess behind the scenes. And it really comes down to just getting back on track with what you know works for you and putting yourself right back at the forefront of your mind and taking care of you. So, with that being said, you may think that, or it could be a common misconception from many, that because I have taught and led in wellness or in yoga and meditation for over a decade, I'd have this down. I have been practicing myself with yoga for over 20 years, meditation for 20 years. So, yes, I can drop in quickly. Yes, I can go really deep. But when it comes to that peace and presence and embodiment all throughout my day, through everything I'm doing, I still meet all of these obstacles that I'm about to share with you, every single one of them. So I'm right there with you. I'm going to just lay my cards out on the table and say, I am practicing this. I'm striving for this just the same as you. And we're going to work through that together. But what I wanted to share is that I got really frustrated because I was like, man, I really am well versed in all of this. Why? Why is this so freaking hard? Like I'm really craving this embodiment, this peace and presence all throughout the day, but I am constantly being pulled out. So let's explore that a little deeper. Let's dive into the subconscious and not just that topical layer and that kind of like and not excuse. It's totally true. It's a habit. It's a pattern, thinking, distraction, all of these things. Totally true. But I'm like, let's dive deeper because I can rewire patterns all day long. I've done it. I've gone through many transformations in my life. I've gone through, overcoming addiction. I've gone through a divorce, total life transformation, rewiring every habit I've had, everything from the moment I woke up to I went to bed, my day being different. I can rewire a habit. So if it's just thinking, then what's the deal? Why am I still having troubles? And that's what we're talking about today, the deeper levels of things. What's going on underneath all of that? So if you're watching this in my Facebook group, my Stress Loop Rewire community, thank you so much for being a part of it. If you know anybody that could benefit, invite them in, get them in there. It's more fun with a friend. If you're out there watching the replay on YouTube, get in the group, Facebook, find me, Jennifer Sack, click on the banner. There'll be a link for you to join. Otherwise, just thanks for sticking it out with me through this video. I have no doubt it's going to benefit you, especially if you stick through the end to get a little stress relief from that guided meditation. All right. So Rumi, gotta love Rumi. Rumi says, silence is the language of God, and all else is poor translation. And he is so right about that because all this resistance is just really our human stuff, which we cannot escape, but we can sort of aim to understand it. We can choose to not entangle. We can look from a observant perspective rather than really getting into the trenches with it. And that can be really fun. So I think it's best right now that we do a bit of an about face and we look at that pesky little human side of us with some raw truth involved there so we can untangle this conundrum and really loosen that death grip, the resistance to stillness, that deeper resistance. And ultimately, it's a resistance to peace, which is what we really want. So a little ironic there, right? So, a little something. If you're out there practicing, not so much practicing, but like preaching the practice of presence and peace, but lost a little bit on your own track of practicing that because you find you're suddenly very busy or you're distracted or you have other things to do, I would love to invite you to grab my Align Your Life with Your Teachings resource in the comments in the description. It's a free resource and it's a really powerful exercise in self assessing your resonance or your dissonance, perhaps. with where you are as a leader currently and where you'd really like to be. And it includes a checklist to really check your reality, and three powerful steps of how you can get back in alignment, back on track. And I really encourage you to pick that up. All right. So let's talk about what our wandering minds are really trying to do. They're trying to protect us. You cannot fault them for that. Bless their little hearts. Those wandering minds, bless their hearts. They just want to protect us. They just want us to be okay and feel okay. So we've all heard it. Be here now. When? Nowhere else. Now. There is no other else. So now is all we got. Yet in our mind, we will be anywhere but here now. We might even believe in the power of presence. If you're in the wellness field or you're a yoga meditation person, you would have most likely experienced some really in-depth moments of peace. You know the power of presence. You know what it's like to drop into that space. So you're totally on board with this idea. It's not a foreign concept by any means. You're like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. But then you come up against the same thing I do. It's still really hard to do all throughout the day. So I know you're here with me because you get that. You get that like, yeah, I know in the deepest depths of my soul that this is a really great space to be in and it's powerful and it has so much juice to it. But then I'm struggling a little bit with this being a part of my daily embodiment. So the thing is even when the to-do list is paused, even when the moment is safe, the mind drifts. It wants to replay, it wants to rehash out and analyze and plan, it wants to worry, it wants to do all these things. And it's easy to just assume it's a habit because that's a truth. It is a habit, but it's also a really deeper thing. If we zoom in closer, we're going to get past the surface level and we're going to look at five deeper reasons of why we resist being fully present and instead find ourselves wandering in our minds. So, the first reason we avoid presence, even when we really crave peace, is that we're just avoiding discomfort. So, the present moment, it does not filter anything, it's like super raw. It's very much in contact with whatever is here right now. And whether that is anxiety or grief or fear or boredom, just plain boredom or loneliness, whatever is coming up, it oftentimes just feels too vulnerable. So the mind is just offering us a solution, a little escape hatch, one foot out the back door. It loops stories about the past, it plans for the future, it distracts us from, it just even maybe causes random noise. Have you ever had just like a song stuck in your head for days on end? I have. I hate that. It's not because it's a bad thing. It's really trying to protect us from having to feel the things that make us uncomfortable. So mental wandering is often just a really clever disguise um, for avoiding feelings. So number two of the five reasons that we avoid presence, even when we really crave peace, is that we really want control. We really want predictability. And thinking gives us the illusion of all that control because by analyzing the past or planning the future, we can convince ourselves that we're managing everything, that we've got it all together. We're keeping ourselves safe, we're prepared, we're protected. We love the pat on the back we give ourselves for being so on top of it. It's all of that. The present moment, by contrast, is all about uncertainty, possibilities. It's very fluid. It doesn't care about your schedule. It doesn't care about you and what you want and what you prefer. We cannot control that. And on a very deep level, we know this. We know it. And that freaking terrifies us. It is like a free fall into the abyss of, I don't even know, everything, nothing, all of it. So the mind does what it knows how to do. It spins scenarios, it problem solves, it anticipates, even if there's not a problem to solve. It'll make one up just to have something to do, to keep you distracted, to keep you feeling like you've got a handle on everything, every possible A, B, and C scenario that could come up, even when nothing needs solving. It's pretty ridiculous. But presence asks us to surrender, and that's scary. The mind just resists by grasping. It's like, I don't want to rest in surrender, and I don't want to fully succumb to what I know to be true is that I have no control. Everything is unpredictable. So, number three, reasons we resist presence even when we really crave the calm and the peace. We're afraid to lose who we think we are. Hi, ego. I see you. I am you. The ego. Oh my gosh. To drop into presence means letting go of the narrative of me. And let's be 100% honest here. You are your favorite topic, 100% all the time. You are obsessed with yourself, you little narcissist. And you're going to say, "Oh no, not me. Not me. I always put others first. I'm a total people pleaser. So I just if everyone else is happy, then I'm happy." Bullshit. I call bullshit. And here's the reason why. Because all those things that you're doing to people please or put other people first are secretly making you feel better about yourself because your little ego loves it. So, no, you are 100% selfish, but don't worry, we all are. So, I'm not just calling you out, I'm calling all of us out. We're all guilty as charged and we're in the same boat. And we love thinking about ourselves. We love to keep this construct of ourselves alive. And even if it's painful stuff, the stories that we keep going, we're going to keep them running because they're familiar. So we always are going to keep in our mind our roles, our success stories, our wounds, our not so great stories. They all live in thought. None of them actually operate in the present moment, which is the weird thing. They're always like a memory. They're always just up here in here. They are not in your present moment, but you keep them running in here to keep that ego going, to keep yourself feeling like you are something and alive. And it's really something when you try not to, when you try not to be anybody, when you try to release those roles and those hats and concentrate on like who am I? Like without all those titles, without all those roles and all the stories and narratives, like who am I? And that is actually who am I? That is one of the existential spiritual questions at the top of the pinnacle questions they always say to ask yourself all the time to bring you right back to presence and awareness. Because at the surface of it, they know that we're distracting ourselves from that because we're afraid. So presence invites us to become nobody for the moment. The ego says, no, thanks. I'd rather be somebody, even if I'm suffering. It's familiar. Number four, reasons we resist presence even when we really crave the calm is we have been conditioned to distrust stillness. We don't trust it at all. Let's be honest, most of us weren't taught that stillness has any value. I suffer from this greatly. There is a lot of pressure, internal pressure that I've created on my own to be doing things because that fills some sort of self-worth and it proves to I'm not even sure who, my ego, I guess, that I'm I'm worthy. I'm doing something. I'm productive. I may be better than someone else who's not doing anything. You know what I mean? It's a total ego trip. We are praised for productivity, action, and busyness in our society, in our culture, and it's really created a lot of harm in us. In that framework, being present just looks like suspiciously, I'm not doing anything. So even when we're not actively doing something physically, a task, a chore, whatnot, our minds are going to still keep doing because it cannot swallow this pill. It's going to still strategize or rehash whatever it can to just maintain that sense of worth. So, culturally, we've just confused momentum with meaning. And that's a tough one to untangle to understand that awareness and presence and calm is totally valuable and worth your doing or non doing, however you want to put that. And you're still worthy regardless. All right, point number five of why we resist presence even when we really crave calm is something I come back to all the time because it's true, 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 true. Calm can feel very unsafe for some of us. It's very unsafe for our nervous system. If we have been running in chronic tension for a long time, we've had a traumatic experience perhaps that triggered us to go into that fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode, and we never got out of it, and it's just always stuck there, then basically stillness feels extremely threatening. Because if your body's used to that high alert, calm just does not register as safe at all. It's foreign, it's unfamiliar. And what does unfamiliar mean? It means it's dangerous in our internal world as far as our nervous system goes. So the mind jumps in to stir things up. It really just wants us to we're wired for survival. So it just wants us to always run with that mode to protect ourselves, basically. So when we get still and it goes high alert, it revs us back up, gets us back into that place that we're familiar on that high frequency of adrenaline, of all of those things that are keeping us in this chronic state of tension. So sometimes we just mentally wander because peace feels riskier than chaos. How ironic is that? It's sad. We really need to work with that. And that's where getting into the state of rest and release and relaxation more and more and more is going to be your best bet. I always will advocate for that because you need to start retraining your body to know that it is okay to be in that state, to be relaxed. It's going to help unravel and undo that death grip of your body resisting. It's like building a muscle. You have to start experiencing relaxation and rest and peace more and more and more and more to sort of take the training wheels off and start to feel like, oh, okay, I'm okay here. It will start to rewire your nervous system, but it is a road to hoe. It is something you have to keep doing. All right. So I'm just going to share this, just because I teach presence, it doesn't just come naturally. I've said that before. I will always aim all day. In fact, it's my intention every day to stay present, to be embodied. It doesn't always happen that way. I want you to know I'm right here with you. I still wrestle with it. Um, Even after all the years of yoga, meditation, and energy work, and oh my gosh, I have tried so many tactics, all of it. I still struggle with these exact obstacles. And I love to rev up my mind, spin a story. I'm super good at that one. I still have to breathe through it when things feel uncomfortable or jagged, and I've found a lot of tools that help. And I think the best thing you do is find the tools that work for you, that are easy and efficient for you, and effective for you, because that's what's going to keep you consistent in the practice of using them. But I keep coming back to those tools, and that's what I encourage you to do as well. Not because I've mastered presence, but because I know that my peace lives there. I've experienced it enough, and I'm sure that you have too, to have that knowing that okay, it really is good when I am in the space of continually practicing my grounding techniques, what have you, staying centered, working with my breath, reframing in my mind, whatever you tend to do. You know from experience, it's great, especially if you're in the wellness field. You probably had some sort of transformation. That's what made you want to go out there and impact others and share that. But somewhere along the lines, we get a little off track with our own practice. And so this is really that reminder that this is a living practice. You don't just get to learn it, have a transformation, get certified in it, and go out there and share it, and then you're cured. That doesn't happen. Okay. You have to embody this presence day in, day out. Okay. We don't get to just get it right once, take a magic pill, and be okay. So let's talk now about three practical ways to return to presence. Okay. These are inspired by my three favorite teachers. I have a lot of people I've, followed throughout the years. So I don't want to leave anybody out, but here's three of my like very deep kindred spirits that I just really love what they do. And I continually go back to my books from them or listen to teachings from them and to keep me. They're like my North Stars. So the first one's Michael Singer. Absolutely love him. If you've not read The Untethered Soul, check it out. The Surrender Experience, kind of fun one. All right. He says, let go of the inner clutch. So Singer teaches us that we don't need to control our thoughts. Good luck with that. It ain't going to happen. We just need to stop grabbing onto them, stop entangling with them. Each time we notice ourselves getting really kind of caught in a mental loop, we can just take a breath and we can choose not to engage. Kind of easier said than done, but doable. All right. So the practice here is to silently say to yourself, relax and release. And then shift your attention back to your breath. Breath is like pinnacle here always. Shift it back to your body or the space around you if that's more efficient for you. No need to fix the thought. Like let the thoughts happen. Let them be. Like that alone takes the pressure off. Like, oh, I don't have to stop doing that. I don't have to judge that thought. I don't have to follow the thought where it came from. I don't have to berate myself for going back to thought. Just don't clutch it. Like just see it and be like, meh, over it. Number two, I love Joe Dispenza. This guy, oh my gosh, bringing together the quantum physics, bringing together the spiritual side, the all the workings that just mesh together well. This guy has done it like none other. I love it. He reminds us that our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors really form predictable patterns, and presence will disrupt those patterns. And that's why we get a little uncomfortable, right? But he says when we internally shift our state, even for a moment, into this place that he loves to talk about, that no body, no one, no place, if you go into that sort of abyss, he says you create the new rewiring, the new wiring for that identity by slipping into that quantum field. So the practice here is, he says, to start your mornings tuning into that feeling, that emotion of how you want to show up calm, centered, grounded, present. Don't wait for the circumstances around you to change. You need to practice being that version right now. And I could really dive deep into why and how this works. I'll save that for a later episode. But a great practice from him is to just, start dropping all of the predictable knowns and dive into the world of the no ones, the no things, the no places, the no body, and then tune into the feeling that you really want to have. And that's where all the magic happens. Third teacher I'm going to share some inspiration from today is Eckhart Tolle. Love Eckhart Tolle. You know, he makes it so simple that it's almost like too simple sometimes, but he really was one of the first I started paying attention to way back when I got The Power of Now. I think it was 20 years old. I remember reading it in my car during my lunch breaks when I worked at a bank. Um, and I would just soak it up, and I loved it so much. And he teaches us that awareness itself is enough. And you're like, oh, well, okay. Eat that for breakfast. Yeah, it is enough, according to him. The more we just simply observe our thoughts without identifying with them, the more space we create between us and the mental noise, which supports a lot of what Michael Singer says too. Like, hey, you can watch those from a distance. You don't have to entangle with them. So Eckhart Tolle shares that too, and he says, just whatever you catch yourself lost in thought, he says it's easy just to like label it like thinking. And that's actually one of the meditation practices is labeling. And we get a little too deep into labeling sometimes. And I'll talk about that in a second. Because I do have a fourth teacher I want to share something from. I'm going to throw this in improv here. But as far as Eckhart Tolle, he says just like, just label it as thinking. There's no effort, no shame. You just stop and just notice that you were thinking and come back to right now, grounding yourself, however your grounding practice works for you. I like the breath. So talking more about the labeling, it made me think of something from one of my other favorite teachers, Mooji, Mooji. He's so great. And really, I just was listening to something from him the other day where the labeling practice, he was like really um driving home the point that you don't want to get now very like granular about the labeling. It's not like labeling it as a thought that's about this, or it's shame, or it's doubt, or I'm feeling fear, or that was a thought about planning, or that is no. He said, you know what? Drop that. You're just creating more stuff in your mind. He said, it's all the same. It's one bucket. It's mind. It's mind stuff. He said, so stop going down this crazy train, really trying to like trace it back or really, what kind of thinking was it? Or what am I really doing here? He's like, no, when you're not present and you notice it, label it mind and drop it, let it go. Mind. It's just mind. It's one big bucket, one blanket statement. It makes it so simple. You don't even have to go any further than that. Okay, so if you're out there teaching presence, but secretly dodging stillness on your own, again, download my Align Your Life with Your Teachings resource. It's free. You're going to love it. It's a little self-check spot tool to really see where you're out of sync. And it gives you 3 practical steps to get back into that embodied alignment. And again, you're going to find it in the description or the comments. All right, so let's take a few minutes to dive into that meditation today. Just for a little stress relief, I want you to employ some of the things that we talked about. You might notice as you go on throughout your days or in this meditation, even like what it might be that pulls you out of presence or following my voice in this case, or being with me throughout the meditation. It could be that ego. It could be the fear of the lack of control. What's going to happen next? What am I going to, what's going to be said next? What's going to be done next? Most of me next. There's so many of the things that we talked about that may come up for you. And, maybe it's just getting still. It's very uncomfortable. It might be uncomfortable for you. Just notice that. Don't entangle with it. Kind of notice it and then just let it go and come back to my voice. All right. So, that being said, this meditation is about stress. It is about relieving some of it, I'm hoping for you. And excuse me, the best thing I can offer you in this moment is for you to just start to settle in. And you can bring to mind any stress that maybe has been top of mind for you. It could be interpersonal relationships, it could be stress at work, the stress of letting yourself down, not being able to make the changes that you want, feeling stuck. It could be the stress of things not changing, not enough change. Maybe you want change. Maybe it's the stress of change. Maybe it's the stress of not changing. So if that resonates on any level, just join me here. I'm sure you've got something going on. I want you to, if you can, just close your eyes and really settle in. Otherwise, just take a low gaze, relax all those muscles around the eyes, and get really comfortable with your body wherever you are, whether you're sitting, lying down, really sink into the weight of the support that's holding you up. And when you're ready, I want you to take a deep, long, slow breath in through the nose. I want you to hold it at the top just as long as it feels comfortable to, and then slow release out at the mouth. And do that again. Deep inhale through the nose if you can, pausing, and then let that mouth open as the breath cascades out. And then I really need you to just relax all the muscles around the eyes and the temples and melt that down into your jaw, relaxing even your tongue, your throat, and your neck. Drip that down into your shoulders, letting them drop as your arms feel like they just get very heavy. Fingertips relaxed. And breathing into the heart space. Perhaps even slowing down the breath just a tad. Noticing the bottom ribs, watching them as they flare out on the in breath, as they contract in on the out breath. And then I want you to soften your belly, release any tension in your low back and your hips. Relax your thighs, your knees, the backs of your knees, calves, ankles, and feet. And then just come back up into the heart space and be there with your breath. And just know that throughout our practice, our meditation today, your attention will at some points be on your breath, and at other points, it might trail off into a bunch of other topics. Certain thoughts may just come in and out persistently. That's okay. It's normal. Maybe even some sensations in the body take place. certain emotions might come up. And the goal here is just to allow them. Allow all of them, the sensations, the thoughts, the images, the feelings, just allow them to be there without having to spend energy or focus on trying to delete them. Just let them be. That alone feels like relief. And now let's start repeating the word slowing as you inhale and the word down as you exhale. Inhale, slowing, and exhale, down. Right now, we're not deleting anything. We are just slowing down. And we're slowing down together. Now sink into where your body is supported and really feel that support under you. Wherever your body is feeling held. Part of releasing stress is releasing the need to hold it all together, to keep it moving forward, to deal with every decision all at the same time. And we are going to release that. Breathe in the word slowing and breathe out the word down. And let's begin slowing down even more. Slowing the breath down. And thoughts just think for themselves. As if you could just float right past them. Because your thoughts are going to be with us the whole time. And just accept that and know that you don't have to think every thought. As you just sink into slowing down. Your breath just softens your body. It releases tension, strain, any pressure. And allow yourself to settle into this resting. So the whole body feels present. Just take your time. There's no rush. It's breathing in, slowing, and breathing out, down. Noticing the chest rising and falling with each breath. Not controlling the breath, just allowing it to be at its own pace, maybe a bit of a slower tempo. And all the things that have been going on in the last hour, week, day, month, that may still be going on in your mind, and that's okay. It's quite normal. And when you notice that something is dragging you into it, a thought is wanting to entangle with you, just come back to your breath. Breathing in, slowing, and breathing out, down. And know that going inside like this is never quite the same. From day to day, hour to hour, you are never the same person when you enter your inner world. Yet your awareness, the essence of who you actually are, never changes. So imagine closing the door on the outer world. Everything outside of this moment is now outside of that door you just closed. And now, as if you could just enter a place within you where all things are known and understood. You are perhaps just finding yourself going into your heart and resting. Slowing on the in-breath and down on the out-breath. And just staying in your heart. The door to the outside is still closed for now. And you may notice even your thoughts slow down a bit. And the situations may be in slow motion. The planning, the strategizing, all of it slowing down into slow motion. And when the mind goes back to thinking or planning or doing, just allow a gentle breath to bring you right back. Softly repeating your mantra of slowly as you breathe in and down as you breathe out. And just imagine your thought life in slow motion. Breath is slow and steady. Edges of your eyes melt. Jaw slightly open. And your shoulders drop. Because there is nothing to carry in this moment, nothing at all. And you notice that the slower you breathe, the calmer you feel. And the calmer you feel, the slower you breathe. Staying in this room where the world is outside for just a little while longer, staying in your heart. And then take a deep breath in through the nose. Pause at the top and then let that breath go. Beginning to make small movements with your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe circling the wrists. You may even, with eyes still closed, want to take a big stretch, arms overhead. And imagine just being able to slow down throughout the day when making a decision, when wanting to be reactive, when you want to distract yourself. Maybe noticing which kind of thoughts rev up to too much thinking, too much planning, and then slowing down, just catching yourself. You can play the scene in slow motion and then just let it go. Slowly begin to open your eyes, blinking, looking around the room, taking in the light of the space around you, checking in with your body, noticing if you feel any different, noting anything that may have come up for you. Always encourage you to voice note or journal any insights, realizations, things that come up for you during these meditations. You will soon forget. Life is distracting. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you are not behind. You're not broken. You're not a failure because you're leading in the wellness field and you're, also managing your own stress at this time. You're totally human. You're in good company. I'm right there with you. And just remember, we all resist presence sometimes. The goal is not so much to stay present 100% of the time. It's really to notice when you've left that state because that open awareness is our natural state. So if we can just become more aware of when we have left, we can allow ourselves to come right back again and again in this living practice and embodiment of it all day, every day, with less judgment and a little more grace. And if you would like more support with that return, hop into my Facebook group, the Stress Loop Rewire Community, and grab any one of my free resources to really help you start anchoring back into that space. Especially my 7-day energy reset. That one is not a free resource, but it is a really great price point. It's well worth what you will invest in it in order to get back on track. I'm going to pop into your inbox every day for a week and help you be accountable, be your support. Because peace is just not a concept, it's a practice, and you deserve to live from within it, not just chase it. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Keep being awesome out there. And until next time, may the peace be with you.